I keep my goals to myself, cause whenever I share it with folks, they get a look upon their face and their memory floats to a time where their goals and the stars ain't...
WrestleMania 42 is officially done. It's cooked. It is filleted, baked, whatever cooking analogy you want to use. It's over and done with, man. It's ruined. It's ruined. I don't even know what to even say, man. I really don't. They literally ruined WrestleMania 42. And we got 2 weeks left until the show. It's ruined. They ruined Randy and Cody by involving Pat McAfee as the mystery guy that Randy was talking to on the phone for a few weeks. Yes, that Pat McAfee, the guy who used to do commentary for Raw. He was the big reveal, which was stupid. Why? Because TKO wants more celebrity involvement when we don't really need celebrities to be involved, right? It's fine to bring in iShow Speed, that's fine. But you don't need Jelly Roll, and you don't need Pat McAfee inserted into one of your biggest stories. Well, actually, your biggest story on Smackdown. But here we are. So they've basically ruined the night one main event, Randy and Cody. They don't trust Randy and Cody to tell their story properly. So they have to insert Jelly Roll and Pat McAfee. What a damn joke. Thank the creator above that we've got 2 more weeks of this nonsense. And then WrestleMania will be over and done with. I can't wait. I am ready for WrestleMania to be over with. I'm ready. I am totally ready for this to be over with. This has been the worst WrestleMania build in history. Ever. Ever. Man. How the mighty have fallen. TKO and Triple H, they're running WWE into the ground. They're running it into the ground. At this point, man, TKO should just go ahead and sell WWE to the Saudis. Just go ahead. Go ahead and sell it to the Saudis. Because, man, they have just done collateral damage. Wow. They literally ruined Randy Orton and Cody Rhodes. Literally. Ruined it. And I'm not even interested in Cody and Randy. I'm not. Not anymore. Not anymore. The only match I care about for Mania 42 is Brock and Oba. And I sort of kind of care about Jacob Fatu and Drew McIntyre. Other than those 2 matches, don't really care. And yes, that includes Roman Reigns and CM Punk. I don't care about that either. I don't. So, they basically ruined both title matches. Both world title matches have basically been ruined. But they have no one to blame but themselves. No one to blame but themselves. But let's go ahead and get into SmackDown from April the 3rd, 2026. Live from St. Louis, Missouri. So we kick the show off with St. Louis, Missouri's own Randy Orton. He gets on the mic saying that it's no secret that this is his hometown. He was raised here as a young man, and he still calls St. Louis home. And the next time they see Randy, he's going to have number 15 firmly planted around his waist. Orton says he's not doing it for the fans, he's doing it for himself and his family, and for his real home, which is not St. Louis. It's for the 6 people in the front row. And that's who he's doing it for. Randy says at WrestleMania 42, he'll walk out of Vegas undisputed WWE champion. He says Cody Rhodes really, he walks, crawls, carried and stretchered out of Vegas, Cody is going home empty-handed at WrestleMania 42. So, Randy says that Cody gave him his blessing. It's not personal between them. Cody said that Randy can be the Viper. What he needed to be the best version of himself. So Randy listened to the voices, and he saw the voices talking to him. He saw Cody in the ring with Stephanie McMahon. He said Stephanie was not lying when she told Cody that Cody could not beat him. And the voices in Cody's head were telling him the same thing. Randy tells Cody that Cody's not a killer. And when he has awoken inside of him, there's no putting back to bed. So Cody shows up. Randy and Cody, they brawl for a brief second. Pat McAfee shows up in sunglasses and rocking a Randy Orton shirt. He low blows Cody in the nuts. Randy gets a steel chair, beats up Cody Rhodes with it, hits him in the ribs with it. So Pat then makes fun of the crowd and everything else and all that jazz. Officials, they come out to stop all this. So Pat McAfee says about a month ago he was asked when he was going to return, and he thought that the business passed him by. He couldn't watch. He thought it was absolute shit. Pat McAfee says that Randy Orton called him and told him that the business didn't pass him by. It just went in a direction they didn't like. So Pat McAfee mentions the WWE, the Attitude Era fan, and the fans started to what? The ones who walked around and said, if you smell. So the fans they put this company on their backs and launched into a multi-billion-dollar universe. They've been forgotten about. Why is it that when he turns on WWE TV, he has to see two 5'5" wrestlers doing 45-minute Iron Man matches for 5 straight weeks when Randy Orton's still around? Why does he turn on Netflix and all he sees is gorilla bleeping themselves when Randy is around? He says tickets for WrestleMania are still somehow available when Randy Orton's around, and Smackdown's fresh off the worst rated episode of all time, and it has a puppet for a champion, a man that represents everything that they hate. Pat McAfee says that he was the one on the phone telling Randy that he has to kill everything. It's because the business that Cody's leading is terrible, and that Randy will save the fucking business. And so there's that. It is what it is. So Randy and Pat McAfee, they dap it up, and then they ride away into Pat's truck or whatever. I don't care about this. Randy tells Pat needed him in his ear. Pat says sometimes you got to remind people that they're the goat in the conversation. Whatever. I don't give a shit about any of this. Great job, WWE, for ruining Randy and Cody. Great fucking job. You guys ruined it. I ruined it. Didn't need Pat McAfee here. Didn't need Jelly Roll here at all. But whatever. I guess they don't trust Randy and Cody, who have a 20-year history with each other to tell a proper story. Oh, man. Fuck this shit. Moving on, this leads us into the first match of the night. Rhea Ripley defeats Mia Yim. This is a long match. This is really long. This made about almost 10 minutes. Rhea wins. She taps out Mia Yim with the prison lock, basically. So, the Baddies, they came in, Jade Cargill and B-Fab. They get the upper hand on Rhea Ripley for a brief moment. Iyo Sky comes out to make the save, and there's that. All right, whatever. Moving on, this leads us into Matt Cardona. So he's in the trainer's room. So in comes Zelina Vega and Aleister Black. Aleister Black tells him that he should have listened to them. He says that Randy didn't change. He just went back to being Randy Orton. It's almost as if the universe is right again. Zelina tells him that the only person who has not accepted that is him. Matt Cardona says he'll talk to Nick Aldis and they'll have a match tonight. Black tells him that if he didn't know any better, he would say that Matt Cardona is a fan of making bad decisions. Okay, that's fine, whatever, who cares. Moving on, this leads us into more MFT nonsense. So Solo says Uncle Howdy challenged him to a match tonight for the Lantern. But after what happened to the tag team titles, he needs someone to step up. So Tama Tonga asks him, why are they fighting for the Lantern? Solo asks if he said something. Tama says that thing's been nothing but problems for all of them, especially for Solo. He looks at Solo, and Solo tells him to go out and fight for the Lantern. So Tama Tonga says he'll handle Uncle Howdy, but he's going out there alone. Solo tells him before he does, he better not mess it up. Whatever. Who cares? Moving on. This leads us into Rhea Ripley. She's backstage with an ice pack on. So Iyo Sky, she's there. So Rhea tells her that Jade Cargill has proven that she can't do it on her own, but she didn't think that she'd have a backup plan. The difference is between her and Jade is Jade has followers, Rhea has friends. Iyo says the best friends, no matter what, she'll always have her back. Rhea says when they're together, they're unstoppable. And that's why at WrestleMania, she'll be walking out the new women's champion. Okay, that's fine, whatever. Who gives a damn? Moving on. This leads us into Uncle Howdy versus Tama Tonga. I didn't watch this shit at all. Uncle Howdy wins. Who cares? He wins via the Sister Abigail. Solo shows up. He argues with Tama Tonga. Then Tama Tonga grabs the lantern. He places it in on the ring apron. And then he dips out. So Solo wanted to know what he was doing. But Uncle Howdy grabbed the lantern and dipped out. Whatever. I don't care about this shit. I really don't. So Solo's about to grab the lantern. And then Tama Tonga stops him. I don't care about this shit. Moving on. This leads us into the Miz and Kit Wilson. A bright spot on this miserable show. So Kit tells Miz he's worried about the curse. Miz tells him there is no curse. So R-Truth and Damian Priest, they show up. He tells them that if they're looking for the members to join the Judgment Day, they're not taking applications. Miz tells R-Truth that he hasn't earned anything. R-Truth says he accepts. And the Miz asks him what. R-Truth looks at him. And the Miz says that they just open challenge them. He says he'll go talk to Nick Aldis, and there's going to be a tag team match tonight. All right, whatever. That's fine. Moving on. Jacob Fatu is up next. He's got a really good video promo with airs. Jacob Fatu says that when you come from the gutter, you're forced to be a product of the environment. It's not about who's right or wrong. It's about survival. He says everything he brought right here to this moment. He says there's no rules. There's no one to stop him. No one to break it up. No one to tell him what he can and cannot do to Drew McIntyre. He said at WrestleMania, Drew is in his world. All right, that's fine. Cool stuff there. All right. Moving on. This leads us into Sami Zayn, who gets booed big time. These boos are loud. They're audibly heard pretty loud. So he's talking to Nick Aldis. Nick Aldis thanks Sami Zayn for the opportunity to go out there and talk to the fans. So Sami Zayn's about to walk out, but Trick Williams' music hits, gets a good reaction, and he comes up with a little yachty. So Trick doesn't really say too much anything in this promo. He just says that the truth is he came out to celebrate his first match at Mania, and then since they're bringing out all the stars, Jelly Roll and Pat McAfee, it's only fair that he brings out his boy Little Yachty. So Little Yachty says that WrestleMania is not for little boys and girls, it's for legends in the making. Trick says he didn't bring him out here to celebrate, he wants him to ask him something. Basically, it is if he could accompany him to the ring for Mania, which is fine. And he makes fun of Sami Zayn, calls him a gingerbread man. So Trick gets on the ropes to celebrate and everything. Pyro goes off. Sami Zayn shows up. Cuts a really long promo. Didn't really say much of anything. Talks about Mania and everything else and all that. Sami Zayn says that when the bell rings, Trick will learn in a hurry that the rap stars, the Coats, will not save him. And he tells Trick Williams that at WrestleMania he's going to humble his ass. So the fans boo. rightfully so. Trick thinks that Ginger Snap is upset. So they just have some more words, basically. Don't say much anything. Carmelo Hayes shows up. He wants a rematch with Sami. Sami's like, not really. And then he basically just gives in. So, whatever. I don't care about this stuff. This was way too long. This was like a good 8-minute promo involving all these guys. It makes no sense. This thing should have been about 2 to 3 minutes, if we're being honest. But, whatever. I don't give a shit. Moving on. This leads us into more MFT stuff. So Tama Tonga put the lantern back, basically. He said he had to put it back. It had to be done. The lantern was tearing them apart. And he wants them to get back to real business and take over SmackDown, take all the titles. Soa says he's right, but they got to finish stuff with the Wyatts first. Whatever, I don't give a shit about this. Moving on. Aleister Black defeats Matt Cardona via the Black Mask, which is fine. Match wasn't too long, so there's that. Moving on. Bayley and Lyra Valkyria, they're backstage talking to Kathy Kelly. Bayley says losing the opportunity last year sucked, but she built a career by fighting with her back against the wall. She says Charlotte and Alexa Bliss will pay for taking the opportunity on Monday. Lyra says Charlotte and Alexa's friendship is fragile. Lyra says this year it's about making up what happened to Bayley last year. All right, that's fine, whatever. Moving on, more R-Truth stuff, basically. So, R-Truth's backstage with Candice LeRae and Johnny Gargano. R-Truth, he says that he thought that Johnny Gargano was dead, and Candice LeRae tells him that he's alive. And tomorrow it's going to deliver, he's going to win. So then they walk away. Damian Priest shows up, tells R-Truth that there's many good tag teams on SmackDown, but R-Truth decided to get the opportunity to Kit Wilson and The Miz. R-Truth says it's easy because Asuka cursed them. Damian Priest tells him that Asuka's on Raw, and R-Truth asks him, who's the little girl running around with the face paint? Damian Priest tells him that's Danhausen. R-Truth says that Miz and Kit Wilson challenged him. Damian Priest asked him if he gave him a chance because Danhausen cursed him, and R-Truth says it was Asuka. All right, that's fine. That's pretty funny there. All right, moving on. This leads us into Drew McIntyre. He was on this show via video package. He says that he's going to be champion. He was going to be champion at WrestleMania, but it was taken from him by Jacob Fatu. And he heard Jacob Fatu's lies, and he says that Jacob Fatu is nothing more than a criminal, a thief. Drew says that Jacob Fatu hasn't changed, and he will not change. Drew says that Jacob Fatu is only there because of his family, the same family that made his life a living hell. Drew says that next week he'll prove beyond all reasonable doubt that Jacob Fatu is guilty. He says next week he'll show the entire world who Jacob Fatu really is. Okay, I like that. That's cool there. Moving on. Bayley and Lyra Valkyria, they defeat Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss. Who really cares about this? Don't care. Post-match Last Legend and Nia Jax got involved, and they beat up both teams. All right, whatever. Moving on, this leads us into The Miz and Kit Wilson again. Miz tells him that the curse thing is a myth, and if they were cursed, how would they have gotten a tag team title match? So Danhausen comes in and he asks if he said someone is cursed. Miz says no, and he asks Danhausen what's he holding. Danhausen says he's holding human teeth in a jar. He says he'll go out to the ring with them. Kit Wilson tells him that he's toxic. Danhausen says if he does come out with them, he can uncurse them and they can become tag team champions. Miz tells him to stay away from them, and they become tag team champions themselves. So Miz turns around and Danhausen is gone. All right, moving on. This leads us into Damian Priest and R-Truth defeating The Miz and Kit Wilson. This was kind of funny here. So Danhausen came out in the middle of the match, basically tried to tag himself in and everything else. He ended up cursing the referee. Miz hit the skull-crushing finale. The referee was about to count 3. His hand started to mess up and everything, which is kind of funny. Holding his hand and all that jazz. And R-Truth ended up hitting the AA into the South of Heaven from Damian Priest, and then the referee counts 3. He uses his left arm to count 3. That's funny. That was pretty funny. All right, moving on. Let's get this into Cody Rhodes. He shows up. He hits Kit Wilson with a crossroads. So Cody Rhodes gets on the mic and says that color surprised him. Randy Orton was talking to Pat McAfee on the phone. That's like Scott Hall and Kevin Nash bringing Disco Inferno as the third wheel in the place of Hulk Hogan. He calls Pat McAfee a stoner, a Logan Paul wannabe, and his time is coming. Cody says that Pat McAfee and everyone he represents, he knows who he's talking to, can kiss his ass. Cody asks, what are they going to do, fire him? That's what Randy Orton wants, his legacy, his mentor. When John Cena was the angel on his shoulder, Randy Orton was the devil. Cody says Randy keeps saying that it's not personal. Even Stephanie McMahon tells him he needs to go to the dark place. He has to become a bad guy. He hears it, dark hair, the whole thing. He doesn't know how he wants to do it anymore. He has 2 kids. He has his dream job, and that's what they want. Pat checking all these sites that only exist because WWE's hot right now. He was Roman Reigns. Cody was wrestling Roman Reigns, John Cena, and even The Rock at WrestleMania, but they were also wrestling him. Cody says it's a wrestling match with 20 years of history. He's hearing it, the voices in his head finally, but you don't want to hear what they have to say. Okay, this is fine, I guess. Moving on. This leads us into the main event of the evening. Sami Zayn defeats Carmelo Hayes via the haluva kick. So Carmelo tweaked his knee when he was doing, I think it was a corkscrew over the top rope. He landed kind of awkwardly. So the referee checked in on him in the corner, and then Sami took advantage, ended up hitting a haluva kick for the 1-2-3. Sami Zayn retained. Post-match, Lil Yachty showed up along with Trick Williams because they're out there just watching Sami Zayn. So Lil Yachty congratulates Sami Zayn on winning the match, and then Lil Yachty calls Sami Zayn the Gingerbread Man, and Sami Zayn walks towards him. Trick Williams beats up Sami Zayn, and Lil Yachty grabs the U.S. title. He gives it to Trick Williams, and then he celebrates with the title, and that was it. Okay, this is fine, I guess, but, it is what it is, man. This show sucks. WrestleMania 42 is going to be a disaster. What more can be said? I just don't care about this shit. I don't. They ruined Randy Orton and Cody Rhodes by involving Pat McAfee and Jelly Roll. What the fuck, man? What the fuck? But all in all, SmackDown was pretty boring and bland. But what did you guys think? Let me know. Like, comment, subscribe. Peace.